Greetings and salutations. It's Friday night, and this is the Horror Syndicate's Up All Night. Or should I do it like Rhonda Shear from USA? Up All Night. Welcome to the show. I am your host, one of them, Razor, and I probably look tired because my sleep schedule is so jacked up. Like, I had breakfast with a friend of mine today, and then we went shopping and gallivanting all over town. And we found a bag of popcorn that was the size of her fucking torso. But anyway, then I came home and fell asleep for like 5 hours. Cool. Anyway, tonight we are talking about Friday the 13th, part 7. Jason takes on Carrie. Carrie versus Jason is what they were like. Oh, we should make a movie with a girl with telekinetic powers. Jason has met his match. Bitch, please. He met his match with Tommy Jarvis. He met his match with Julius. Anyway, so tonight we are going to be talking about that, and I'm going to bring in my old friend Seth Rooney. Seth,
Ray.
how goes it? I don't like when people say that. How goes it?
Yeah. Well,
So I
how goes
need,
it?
huh?
How goes it?
How goes it? I need some help from anybody out there. I've got this thing I want to try to do. Let me know if you can hear
You're
this
going to Camp Blood, ain't you? You'll never come back again. It's got a death curse.
and how well you can hear it because I want to start having little clips on here. Like when I introduce Seth, here is Seth Miller. He
An
is
asshole.
okay. Anyway, let's. I do. We're gonna have video entrances soon for the Discourse show for different whatever is the segments. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway, Sean Sheridan's already spamming us. He's hit that spam button. So we've we've got some comments to get to in a minute, but we're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like, and what we love, and give you our slash scores for Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. But of course, if you are new here, please fucking hit the subscribe button, like button, all that good shit, and then find us on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're going to be doing something very special very soon. 5-star rating reviews on the Horror Syndicate on Facebook. If you have not gone to Rage of Razor, we just finished doing all the Rocky movies. It's going to be called the rankings of Razor, and we did Rambo yesterday, and I was asleep half today, so fuck that. Anyway, let's do these comments real fast from Sean. That's actually the second one. So let's go to the first one. He says, "This is when Friday went the series went down the toilet, quality wise. Maybe story wise, but quality wise, I don't know. Because I mean, the effects are pretty top notch in this one, and I would say this is probably the last decent Friday the 13th movie. And quite frankly, when you start coming up with stupid ideas like this to continue your franchise, that's signs it should, yeah, that's probably true. But I love Jason Takes Manhattan, which we'll be getting to next week. Had part 4 actually been the final chapter, I think Friday's series would have a lot more respect. I don't think the Friday the 13th series is suffering from lack of respect. Do you, Seth?
No, but I mean, I definitely see his point where the series kind of went away from
German.
like the slasher the I don't know the grounded is it grounded? I don't know, but like they got more gimmicky as it went on.
Well, I mean, they found new ways to kill and bring Jason back, and I mean, I agree. Actually, not respect wise, but I think that if they would have ended after part 4, it would have been looked on more as a serious franchise than what it is, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I think that's what it would have come down to, and because now it's like, I mean, part five's uh, working title was repetition because they were using the same old formula over and over and over, and
Yeah.
even I mean they tried to divert from that with part seven a little bit when you got somebody finally with supernatural powers, which whatever, you know. Anyway, so Jeremy Abney is back apparently. Hey, V, it's Friday Part 7, which means we're only about 5 weeks away from Scream. Oh yeah, from last from Wednesday our show, we were supposed to teach you about Bukkake since you didn't go on the show. I don't know anything about Bukkake. But this is a pretty good summary. Jeremy says the story is dumb, but Jason looks awesome. The kills are great, and overall, the movie is cheesy fun. One thing I wanted to mention, because I watched this one, uh, we got to say something about it. But when I'm watching, you've seen Crystal Lake Memories, right?
Oh yeah.
So in Crystal Lake Memories, apparently this one was known as the Gay Friday the 13th, and they called it Friday the 13th. So I'd watched this movie a bunch growing up, and I never got that idea. I'm guessing most of the actors were homosexual, because I never got the feeling like I got the feeling that Elm Street 2 was, homoerotic for sure, but this one I never got. I wanted to know if you ever even got that.
No, not at all.
You never got that. See, I never got that feeling at all. Yeah, a bunch of the cast was into the dick. It's a series of two halves. That's actually it's three thirds because you also have the post Paramount era um, of Friday the 13th, and it's broken up into four movies each one. Think about it: one through four, five through eight, then Jason Goes to Hell through Freddy versus Jason. So, yeah, I mean, there's a third of the movies are complete shit. A third of the movies are kind of fun and kind of silly and gimmicky, if is the word that's been thrown around, and then the first third are more of a serious tone with, especially with the first, well, yeah, all four of the first ones. Uh, anyway, but we've talked about those and we've given our scores, and I'm going to remind everybody that we do something called a slash score after every episode. It's because we're going to do a ranking show Friday the 13th when we're done. Ain't that right, Seth? Or should I call you Cool Breeze, like in Elm Street 3? Ain't that right, Cool Breeze? Um,
Yeah,
but
sure.
yeah. So, just for example, Seth and I come up with a score, and I've changed the title to slash score, but we come up with our score based on 10 categories, and it comes out to a percentage. And then I take his score and my score and combine them together. I don't know why I'm using my hand gestures whenever this is up on the screen, but anyway, we put them together, and it comes out to one final score, which, like in Friday the 13th, the original is 50%. And most recently, we did 2 weeks ago, Friday the 13th, Part 6, 82%. So it's a fun way to be able to kind of judge the movie. We have our own preferences when it comes to ranking them, where Seth gave Jason Lives a really high score versus his favorite, The Final Chapter, because he's a closet Jason Lives fan more so. I think he just does it
You're not
to
gonna let me
get
live that
him.
down, are you?
No, I'm not. You know why?
Because you're a
You know why I'm
dick.
not going. No, because you're
An asshole.
yeah. So anyway, I hope they can hear that.
I
Anyway,
couldn't hear it.
can you hear it?
I couldn't hear it.
Okay, so hopefully everybody
But
can hear this.
I knew what you were playing.
Yes. Anyway, so so from starting when we get to the Scream movies, we're going to start breaking each episode down with our categories. But I lost my list for this, so and we're just going to wait until after this. So we're just going to talk about this, have a free free flow in conversation. Seth's going to disappear for a little bit. So it'll be just me for a few. So anyway, Friday the 13th, as the title says, is basically they said they wanted to make a movie like Carrie versus Jason. Uh, I like Freddy's Dead. It's stupid but fun. Yeah, he's a scream queen. I don't know how Mark is. I haven't heard an update. I was thinking about messaging a friend of ours that produced Scream Queen, my Nightmare on Elm Street, but I haven't done that yet. Anyway, so yeah, so part 7, campgrounds. Are not really campgrounds, but Tina Shepard and her mom are going to this Crystal Lake to what a weird setting to study her powers with Dr. Cruz, Bad News Cruz. And I'm confused as to why they had to go to the place where the trauma happened, because at the beginning of the movie you see Tina basically caused the death of her dad after her dad. I mean, he sounds like he backhanded the mom, which no good. You don't hit your wife or your husband for that matter. And so Tina ran out to the boat, pulled the whole fucking bridge down, or dock down on her dad. He dies. So it's time to take her back. And of course, there are horny, drunk teenagers for a birthday party. This one was actually titled Birthday Bash before the final. Well, I guess that's the code name, so people didn't know it was a Friday the 13th movie. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a basic story. There's some fun effects. You get to watch, Weekend at Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, terrorize Tina Shepard throughout most of the movie. And then, she meets, is it Nick? They have absolutely no chemistry together. It's so this movie's not great. I have a lot of fun with it, and I think the biggest problem with this movie is, as John Carl Buechler, the director, said, the MPAA raped his movie, unfortunately, because there are some kills that look like they could be pretty fucking awesome in this one that get completely torn to shreds. And we do get that famous sleeping bag kill, which we all love. It's definitely one of the best ones ever. Seth's restarting his computer, so it might be a few for him. So ask me questions in the meantime. That way I don't have to ramble on about bullshit. But there are some kills that would be great to have seen in full, and then there's some bullshit ones like the girl just getting tossed out the window. You get that frumpy girl Maddie, I think was her name. I would like to have seen more of her kill. The noisemaker to the eye. What was the one? There's a lot. This one had the body count is huge in this movie, which is one of the best things about the Friday the 13th series, in my opinion. So actually, I think Seth likes Scream more than I do. Is Jason 7 the only movie that Jason uses power tools? That's one of the things I was going to mention about this movie is Jason he never uses the same tool twice. It's like he kept going back to some kind of shed to grab something different because he uses power tools. I don't know that he's ever used them before, but he uses that weird limb trimmer on Tina's mom, where Dr. Cruz he's bitches out and throws her in front of him, which is kind of a funny scene. But I think he stabs her through the back. I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, I think so. But yeah, he uses all sorts of implements in this movie. Tina's love interest, I like him. The doctor he's a complete douchebag. Bad News Cruz, yeah. Oh, Melissa's my favorite character in this movie. She is a complete thirsty, savage bitch, and I love her for it. She her death, it's very simple, but it's my favorite. They're trying to help Nick and Tina are trying to help her live and make it through the night or whatever. And that's a good question. And she says, fuck you. No, fuck you, or fuck both of you, or whatever. He opens the door, Jason's there, whop, right in the head, and Jason just throws her across the fucking room. I love it. That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. I just fucking axe to the face and tossed across the room over that fucking floor model TV. Yeah, that's a good question. Why didn't they drag the lake for the dad's body? And also, like, I know there's a dock there, but like that water right there probably wasn't all that deep anyway. And I know that shit fell on him. It just there's a lot of problems with that and the ending. You know, they built a new dock, of course, and then the dad comes up and brings Jason down in the water. It's one of the worst endings in my opinion. Um, yeah, Barbarian's awesome. I loved it. The MPAA fucked this movie. Yeah, like, and the worst part is the prints they couldn't release them because I believe there was a fire and all the work prints and everything like that up in flames. So the only thing that's available is like really really bad quality prints of the kills. Yeah, this one, yeah, that's definitely something we need to mention. Kane Hodder was introduced as Jason after John Carl Buechler worked with him on a movie called Prison. And of course, he became the iconic Jason. I think that he's probably to the average person the Jason everybody knows. You know, if you say who's your favorite Jason, 9 times out of 10, I think most people say Kane Hodder. Uh, when you come to the Horror Syndicate, you're going to get 4 different answers because mine's C.J. Graham. Seth's is uh, Ted White. You know, Nate's. I don't remember who Nate's is, and Jared's. It may have been Brooker. So yeah, yeah. This. So John Carl Buechler. The best part about that was uh, he wanted to put in every single injury Jason got throughout the series into the makeup. And John Carl Buechler is he's a makeup guy in his own right. He did a lot of makeup work in the early '80s, and I think that's how he did it because I think Prison was Ring Harlan's movie, if I'm not mistaken, and then he did the makeup on that. Am I wrong? Is was Prison Rennie Harlan's movie, and then John Carl Buechler did the makeup on that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and that's they were talking about the ending for a second. How the dad comes out of the water, the bullshit ending, and he was supposed to look like a zombie. Instead, he looked like he was just dirty. All those years underwater, and he's just dirty. Yeah, I should get to the comments faster. Kane is overrated as Jason. Sorry, fanboys, but I prefer Ted White and Richard Brooker over him. Yeah, I think complete fanboys would. Well, yeah, I know you do. I told him that's what I said. Is like Kane Hodder is probably best known for Jason because he played him 4 times. But you know, you come to the Horror Syndicate, and all of us have a different favorite. Jason, like C.J. Graham's mine, yours is Ted White, and I can't remember what Nate's and Jared's is, but moldy motherfucker. Yeah, pretty much. CJ and Ted White are awesome, but Kane is Jason to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Kane did a great job and brought a lot to the role. That's why they kept bringing him back for part 8. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell. Unfortunately, he barely got to be Jason, but he did get to call himself a pussy. Ain't nothing but a big old pussy, which was kind of cool. Anyway, you know what's fun is going to a convention and seeing the way that Kane Hodder interacts with CJ Graham. It's pretty fucking hilarious, actually. Um, I think anybody who loves Part 6, I think CJ Graham's going to be high up there. So Seth, let me take a break from talking because you know, that's all I do. I'm not like Nate. You know, Nate can talk all day. But give me some of your impressions on this one and some of the things that you like or dislike. Just go at it while I take a drink of my water.
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed this one. I don't care for the gimmicky concept of the chick with telekinesis, but I think overall it is for me. It's the last really good one in the series. It's one that I always have fun watching. I love the open sequence where you have, the narration from Walt Gorney, who played Crazy Ralph.
Yeah.
And they show, all the previous ones. I love the score for this one. I think it's a really cool score. I'm not a big Hodder fanboy, but I love his look in this one, and his performance isn't bad. I mean, I don't hate Kane Hodder at all. He's just not my favorite Jason. He's not really in my top. He's not one of my top Jasons, but I liked him in this one, and yeah, and I think this one also has some really great secondary villains with Dr. Cruz and what's her name?
Melissa.
I'm drawing a blank. Melissa, yeah. Those are great secondary villains.
She's one of my favorite characters in the series. I'm not gonna lie, I love her.
Like her death is so satisfying.
I know. I was talking about that while you're gone, man. It's just,
Yeah.
fuck you. No, fuck you both. Opens the door. Jason's there. Pop. I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I chose that image for our header, our cover image or whatever, our thumbnail, because he's coming to get us. Anyway.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoy this movie. I don't love everything about it. I don't think really any of the, besides Melissa, I mean, everyone else is kind of okay. Not my favorite set of characters in the series, but
no.
Again, I have a lot of fun with this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is rewatchable.
It's just fun. If ever there were a Friday the 13th party movie, this is probably the best of the bunch in my opinion, as far as because it's fun. The death count or kill count is high. It does have a lot going for it. It's not the quality of 1 through 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from John Carl Buechler.
Exactly.
He made a fine movie, and he's a good director, and he's from the St. Louis area. Oh, I never got to meet Brooker or White. I love how that's the iconic image from Part 7. Yeah, it was on the NES box, along with the knife through the mask in the actual game. I don't know that let's talk about the look of Jason a little bit, like if you don't mind. What are some of the things I like? First of all, the one thing that stands out to me is the beating that the mask takes, where you even have the chewed up section of the mask where Tommy hit him with the blade, the propeller from the boat.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, and you can tell it's been underwater a little bit because the chevron is really dark and it almost looks black in some scenes. But his back is all chewed up. You can see his spine. He's got one of the best looking creature looking faces. What are some of the things you like about that one that make up? Because this is one of the best.
This is definitely one of the best for every reason you just said. I don't know. It just looks really. He just looks so fucking cool in this movie.
Almost like the Terminator in a way. He's not exactly scary, but he looks like somebody you don't want to fuck with. Like we talked about when we talked about Part 4, how scary Ted White was as Jason, but it was because he was a force. This one is this is a Halloween, Jason Voorhees, like Halloween costume Jason Voorhees. John Carl Buechler he even had as far if you look at his fingers, you can see the gloves were rotting onto his hands, which is really cool. The makeup is so awesome because he did say that he wanted to have every scar, everything that was done to him in the movies, the bullet holes, all that shit. Although I will say the one there is a bullet hole missing from the mask from Part 6. When he gets shot in the head at one point.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at
But
the
also,
mask.
I mean, even Kane Hodder. I mean, I don't want like don't want to trash him, but like he does have he does have a great body language. He does seem dangerous as Jason. Unlike Ken
Yeah,
Carson.
no, I mean that's probably why they kept bringing him back was the body language because obviously it wasn't the makeup because they changed it every time. But the way he led with his he did the Batman turn because he didn't turn his neck. He just led with
Yeah,
his chest and the way he would even the way he walked. But and Luke mentioned the exaggerated breath that he takes. I actually like that, but also I don't know why a dead thing needs to breathe, but I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is definitely we did a well, I did a article. Let me look it up real fast on the horrorsyndicate.com. If you didn't know, we have a website called thehorrorsyndicate.com where you can check out all kinds of stuff. But I did a article a couple years ago about the top looks for Jason, and I think this was my favorite. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna look it up real fast. Um, do you want to talk about? Let's talk about Tina a little bit.
Okay, what about her?
What do you think of? Oh my God, this is like 17,000 views. What do you think of her overall as a character? I mean, other than the powers, she was a fragile character who was obviously being fucking manipulated by your boy.
Yeah, I mean, they at least gave an effort to have some sort of you know. So like she's not one of my favorite final girls in the series, but
Mm-mm.
she's not a bad character. She is a little whiny. Um, and I
I think
think
she
she
has
does
reason to be
well.
whiny though.
Um, oh yeah, for sure. But it's just um, that's not my type of favorite type of character. Um, but I think she does like Laura Part does very well, especially in the moments towards the end where she is kind of using her powers on Jason. Um,
I like that she comes to terms with being able to use her powers because that final fight it's something we've never seen in Friday the 13th, and it's in a lot of ways there's a lot of fun things about it, like when she squeezes the mask and it pops off of his face or lights him on fire, just using her mind. A lot of that stuff is cool. Knocked him through the stairs. There's a lot of cool things that happen within that fight that I really like. Um,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to find visual proof, but there is a hole in the mask after he's shot. I know there is. I know there is. I've seen it. Seen it. Anyway, I got the article pulled up, Seth. I want to show off my top looks for Jason.
Go for it.
I'll go for it. So I didn't include Roy because he's not Jason, but he gets a mention. So Jason Goes to Hell is the worst one in my opinion. And Seth, chime in and let me know what you think of my ranking.
Yeah, I mean his head looks like a fucking piece of popcorn.
Yeah, sponge cake. How about number 9 is Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, the eggplant head, and his face looks like his mask looks like a croc.
Yeah,
Was this the first one they gave him a
yeah, not a
jacket
fan of
too?
that Jason.
Yeah. Oh, you can see how
Yeah, I
pathetic
think
Twitter feet
so.
on the side here. Yeah, and then Jason X, I absolutely hate both of these. I don't understand. He's got that upturned nose on the mask. He's got fuzzy hair,
Yeah,
terrible makeup job. I don't care for Uber Jason. Most people do. And then part number 7 is part 2. I like this look, but I like all the other ones better. The hockey mask is so iconic, you know.
Yeah.
Underrated in my opinion. Oh, the image is backwards, I think. But I like this look. I like how they kept him slimy throughout the movie. Well, it's not backwards because the cut's on the right side. On the side. I like this look. I actually think looking at it now, I think I like it better than Pastel Jason from Part 3. I think I gave it a higher rating because Richard Brooker passed away. You know, and was trying to be all nice and whatnot. But I'm not a big fan of Richard Brooker's look. Those baggy clothes on his hunchback. Okay, I thought we lost you for a second. And then let's see. Jarek Mears looks like a fucking complete beast in the remake, which we'll get to that
Yes.
episode soon.
Yeah.
Here's Ted White's number 3, which probably disappoints you.
Severely.
I wonder who
down,
the
Ray.
woman is in that photograph on the wall there. You see that? To his right? Who is that, I wonder? And then we got CJ, which I love. I love the way CJ looks. And Kane Hodder. And he's killing Melissa right there. Gotta love it. I did give some honorable mentions. I know you don't play. The video's gone. Friday the 13th the game, but Savini's Jason. That would be better if Jason Goes to Hell. He looked like that, and then the video game, the retro Jason.
Yeah.
I did play the video game quite a bit. My son still plays it. Anyway, oh, there were people commenting while I was doing that. It does look like a crock, yeah. Looks like a crock of shit. Part Jason X is he's got the Michael Jackson nose after surgery. Burlap sack, yeah. That's a good look though. I like that look, but it also harkens back to The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is a movie that I fucking love. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I'm just going through all these.
Well, the original. I never saw the
meta sequel. I like it actually. You should check it out.
Yeah. I've heard it was good. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, what else do you want to discuss? The boobs? I haven't said anything about boobs yet.
Go for it.
Well, we didn't get any boobs, bare breasts in the last movie, Jason Lives. This one, we only get, I think, one set. I'm going to call them a set, and it's the redheaded girl, and they're quite divine. I thought they were pretty good. So, good boobs in this one, just not very, very many. And I don't think we get
10 out of
any.
10.
10 out of 10. They're not stupendous, though. No, that's coming. Yeah. Fans tune in Tokyo. Which honestly, it was surprising. Talking about those that girl, I can't remember her name. Her boobs. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but they were surprisingly nice. When I saw them, I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. I like her a lot better now. I do think she deserved a better death. Because she was just tossed out the fucking window, basically. And I wonder, like, something like that with her death, if that was a time thing. We ran out of time, didn't know how to kill her. Did it show her boobs? I don't remember that. Anyway, they weren't memorable, obviously, if they did. I'm only here for the memorable memory. So, do you want to go ahead and get to the slash score, or do you have anything else you want to discuss about this movie, or does anybody have any questions of what we think about anything with this movie? Um, that was a reshoot kill. That's right. Yeah, they went back to Topanga Canyon. Anyway, what do you want to move on to the slash score? Is there anything else you want to mention? If you have a question out there before we move on to the slash score, please drop it into the comments and we'll get to it. And remember, next week we are going to be doing Jason Takes Manhattan, and then which when was the last time you watched that, Seth?
Jesus. To be honest with you, I don't even think I think the last time I watched it was before I got the Scream Factory box set. Whenever that came out.
I think it's been out for 3 years, dude.
Yeah, I was
Disrespectful.
living in the trip at the time.
Oh my God, Seth. I can't wait. So that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to is finding out your slash score for part 8 because I don't remember which one.
It's gonna
I
be
think
like a 10.
don't you dare, don't you dare. I want you to look at it and try to find some entertainment quality value out of this movie because I like it. I think it's fun. And this was the one I told you I had it on VHS along with it was on the same tape as Dream Child and Revenge of Michael Myers, and I watched the shit out of those. And those are the worst. I just did an article, top 10 horror movies from 1989, my version, and I had to have those 3 on there. But I swear to God, 1989 damn near killed horror when it comes to movies. That's something I'd like to discuss on the show is how fucking brutal 1989 was for horror movies on the Discourse show.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
will say though that there are things I do like about Jason Takes Manhattan.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it next week.
So I do have positives. Very minimal.
Yeah. Do you at least like the way Kane looks in the costume in that movie?
Not really.
No?
No.
That's a shame.
It seemed like it was
All right.
like a lazier version of Part 7. I didn't really like the mask being so like yellow looking.
Yeah, it's very yellow. It also wasn't his mask. He took it from that dude who surprisingly also had the
Oh, I
axe
know. I
mark
just
in it.
still didn't care for.
Yeah, that's all good. Okay, so time to say subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the Horror Syndicate and like us on Facebook. We do Facebook Live videos 3 times a week. Rage of Razor, currently Rage of Razor, also does. We're going to be doing Superman 2 at some point. I wasn't up for it this week, so we might be doing it next week. And then Superman, and we'll be ranking Superman stuff the week after that. But Seth, are you ready to give your slash score? Or
Yeah.
maybe we could just talk about Dawn of the Dead. All right, here we go. Seth's slash score is 60%. Take it away.
Yeah. I rated it pretty high for entertainment value, for the effects, and for the kills. I rated it also high for the score because, I mean, I love the score. Everything else I rated as pretty much average. The cast and the acting, they were no worse than any other Friday the 13th movie. The write-in wasn't great, but they never are for this franchise. The direction was above average. I do like John Carl Buechler's direction for this one. Yeah, overall, I have a fun time with this one. It's not perfect. I don't love everything about it. I especially don't like the telekinesis gimmick. Um, but at the same time, this is one that I can always throw on and have a fun time with. For me, this
Mhm.
is excluding the remake because I do like the remake a lot. But this
Yeah, can't
is
wait to get that
definitely
show.
the last good. To me, this felt like the last really good Friday 13th movie, and it's definitely the last of the good Paramount. Even though there's only one more after it, but
Yeah, this I agree with that actually. I know that your score of 60% is probably the last time we're going to see a score like that till we get to the remake. Uh, I expect all the
yeah,
scores here on out. Even with me with Jason Takes Manhattan, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to take how I feel about a movie and score things higher just because I like it better. Just because honestly, Jason Takes Manhattan has some garbage going on in there. But yeah, I know next week's score is going to be a lot lower, and I know Jason Goes to Hell is going to be a lot lower. I'm looking forward to watching Jason Goes to Hell. I'm looking forward for you to watch Jason Goes to Hell.
I have fun with Jason Goes to Hell, man.
I do
It
too.
sucks as a Friday 13th movie, but fuck, is it fun?
It's fun, and it's got some great kills, and that's why we're
The
there for the
kills
most
are yeah,
part. Is the kills, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I would like to add, if you can, also watch it with the audio commentary from
Adam
Adam
Marcus.
Marcus and Dean Lorey. Um, the last time I did that was on the DVD when it first came to DVD many years ago. Um, but I thought that was a really fun commentary. They were very honest, very well aware of a lot of its faults, but it was fun to listen to.
This is from 2002. I just looked on the back. How's the date that it was made? I bought this
Yeah,
way back in 2002. This is the original DVD for Jason Goes to Hell. It's got the unrated version on it too.
I have that one too.
Yeah. Just realized my mask is not even in frame. Okay. So Seth's score, as you saw, was a 60%. Not bad, really, for a Friday the 13th movie. Um,
Yeah, Julian's the
Mine is
best.
61%. So not
Oh
too
wow.
far off. Yeah, not far off from what you have. And I think you and I pretty much see eye to eye with this one in many ways. I mean, I like the different take on telekinesis and all that because it was something different for once. It wasn't the same old final girl running away from Jason, and she actually stands her ground. I mean, we haven't really seen anybody stand their ground final girl wise since Trish in part 4, and Trish, she's like backed into a corner, but Tina actually, you know, gives Jason a decent fight. So I have fun with this one, just like you said. It's the 1988 uh, Friday the 13th movie, and a lot of fun. Shitty characters. Jason looks awesome. I mean, and some good kills. That's all I can ask for out of a Friday the 13th movie. So 61% is not bad considering some of the scores I've given before. So now you might be asking, what is our combined score? If Seth says 60 and mine's 61, well, we round up here at the Horror Soundicate, the Horror Syndicate. So our overall score is 61% for Friday the 13th Part 7. And you may be asking yourself, where does it rank? Well, out of the 7 movies we've done so far, let's do a rundown real fast. So coming in number 7 right now is Friday the 13th, the original. Number 6 is Part 3 at 52%. Coming in at number 5 is Part 5 with the 57%. Coming in at number 4, and these aren't probably going to change much. I think the remake's going to fit in here somewhere, I would assume. Uh, I
Yeah.
think the remake's going to end up being number 3. That's my hot take on this. which is the number three right now, is part two at 63%. And then a huge jump with part four being 80%, very deserving 80%. And then Friday the 13th, part six, Jason Lives, will likely end up being our number one when it comes down to it. I don't see anything getting higher than maybe like a 70 moving forward, with that being probably the remake.
Well, besides Jason Lives, or not Jason Lives, but Jason X, which will get 100%.
So I'm curious to know how you're going to rate some of the categories with these, New Line movies when we get there, and then part eight, because I have a feeling I'm going to see a bunch of point fives in there, not even giving them full, full number ones or full ones or whatever. Which the lowest possible score we could have is. Have you given a zero to anything yet? Any category for any of the movies?
No,
Neither have
I
I.
don't think
So,
I
but
will.
you,
I don't foresee that with this.
well, you can give the lowest thing you could do is a point five. So the lowest score is a 5%, I think, I guess. Yeah, wouldn't that, is that right? Yeah, 5% is like the lowest score I think a movie can get. So I'm curious to see if you're going to pull a 5%er on Jason Takes Manhattan. If you do, we riot. I riot.
There's a couple categories that I will probably have higher higher scores, which may surprise you. Only a
Yeah,
couple though. I don't really
yeah.
I don't know if I'm over 10% on this one.
There's there's God, there's a lot of fun to be had in this movie that just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason kills somebody with a flying V guitar, but you barely get to see it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking about Jason Takes Manhattan next week. The two episodes I'm really looking forward to are that and Jason Goes to Hell, because Jason Goes to Hell, I think it's a fun movie. It's a party movie. It promotes safe sex. You know, it's got
What more could you ask for?
well, more boobs. I would ask for, because there's only two. I think
Oh,
two boobies. Yeah, I was hoping Virginia would pop in so she could do the boob count. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Always fun talking to Seth because he is
An asshole. An asshole.
yeah. And Seth, hopefully you start feeling better in a couple of days. I know I've been there. I have the whole yeah. So just to recap, we talked
yeah.
about Friday 13 Part 7. Seth gave it a 60%. I gave it a 61%. Decent scores. Again, I think the remake's going to end up being probably higher than this. I think it might be higher than two, honestly. An overall score of 61%. If you're scoring at home, which I know that you are, I also want to give a shout out to Joe Bob Briggs. It's his birthday today. I think he turned 70. And next week, we are starting Zombie Month. Thank you, Jeremy. Glad to have you back, hanging out. We're starting Zombie Month with Tom Savini's only film that he directed, which is Night of the Living Dead, 1990. We'll be talking about that on the Horror Syndicate Discourse. We have some new things. Seth's got a new segment called, what is it called?
Evil Dies Tonight.
Yes. And we'll explain
Woo!
more. Yes. We'll explain more about that when we get to it. Nate's going to do a autopsy of a scene. As a director with the keen eye of filmmaking, Nate's going to break down one scene from each movie moving forward. So we're going to be having some fun segments. I'm going to do something called the Razor's Burn, because I'm Razor, and it's going to be 5 burning questions about the movie that I'm going to put to you guys and to the panel well, we're rejects, aren't we, Seth? So
Yeah.
Look forward to that. See,
I feel
go
like I
ahead.
should explain my segment.
What?
Like, I feel like I should explain my segment because you
Yeah,
kind
go
of
ahead.
explained what you guys were doing. We just left the title for mine.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to leave it to the
yes,
imagination.
we call it Evil Dies Tonight because at the Horror Syndicate are a bunch of assholes, right? And
Speak for yourself.
okay, I could speak for myself on that one. I'm an asshole. But my segment is going to be where I'm going to be taking a look at the motivations and the goals of the antagonists and protagonists of the movies that we discuss. So be like deep diving into the character stuff, at least for the main antagonist or protagonist, maybe another character as well. I'll probably do 3 for Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how you with the antagonists, how you're gonna deal with that because they're, you know, but I don't think they have a motivation. Their motivation is to eat. Like that's pretty much it. Oh man,
Yep.
fucking, this is bullshit. Video. Where's my videos? Oh, it's a different category. I was gonna upload the videos real fast. Um, your video and just give everybody a little idea of what we're going to be going up with. So that's uploading now. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So we're going to segment the discourse show, which we never had done that before. Have done that before. We just kind of just talk and talk at our leisure. So we're every time. So every time Seth's segment comes up, you're going to see this.
Evil dies tonight!
And then Seth's going to go into his rant. And then Jared, we didn't get to mention. Jared's going to be doing trivia and tidbits about the movie because he always, every time we do a movie or a show, he does find out things that you may not know, and sometimes we do know. So here's Jared's little. Those who don't know, that is Lucio Fulci's body with Jared's head. Jared's a huge Fulci guy. He's an Italian horror fan, and that was from Dawn of the Dead. I'm not sure if that's going to get us, in trouble, because I know you can play really short snippets from things, and that was like 10 seconds, if that. But yeah, and I'm going to be working on an intro for the show. So instead of just showing the thing and me saying "Hey everybody" like a drunk tired person, well, I'll still do that anyway. But anyway, so yeah, so make sure that you subscribe to the Horror Syndicate Discourse or the Horror Syndicate, just the Horror Syndicate on YouTube. For every episode, we do have old episodes from the past 4 years, actually for the past almost 7 years, that you could watch if you want to do a deep dive. And we've got the Supernatural Syndicate on Tuesdays with Luke, Seth Aruni, and Virginia. And then, of course, Discourse on Wednesdays. And then, of course, today, Fridays, Up All Night. And it's not like we're going to be here all night. We try to stick it to about an hour. Yeah, I think that's about right. So I think Jared's safe because he didn't even respond to that, did he? That video. I liked it.
Yeah, he said he loved it.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I like it. I like yours too, though. Yours is some. It went away.
Evil dies tonight!
I say that your head on Anthony Michael Hall's body I think it looks cool. I think it looks good. I could have just gotten a picture of you holding a bat. I'm sure you could find a bat somewhere, but this Nate shared
Well,
that.
I was
Oh
thinking
my
about
God.
doing that.
Were you?
Well, when you, yeah, like right when you were saying something about pitchers, like right before then, I was thinking, I was like, I wanted to get a baseball bat and like hold it like behind my head, like Tommy does when he comes out of
Yeah.
the bar. He holds a little
It was like one of
huckleberry,
the first.
like right
It was
behind
like one
his
of the
head.
first screenshots we saw of the movie. Actually, Halloween Kills was him holding a
Yeah.
bat like that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can just get that picture if you want and do that. Anyway,
No, this
well,
one's good.
do you want me to put his head on the lady holding the iron? Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. Evil dies tonight. It's too bad you can't get her swinging the iron. Anyway, that's it. We're done for the night. Fun show as usual. And also wouldn't be a show without Seth having some kind of problems with his computer. Uh, right? Again, 61% overall. Fun movie. Check it out if you've never seen it. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing here? So we'll see you next week as we talk about Jason Takes Manhattan. I think it's underrated. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.